Changing up the pace somewhat from my medium tanks, this is an FV304 match, the Tier 6 British Arty. I don't really play Arty. In fact, the FV304 is the only one I play anymore since the SU-26 got beaten into the ground with the Nerf bat. And it is definitely one of my favourite comedy tanks. You can see this thing really shifts. It's built on a light tank chassis. The FV301 was an experimental light tank. It ended up being cancelled. But there was a whole family of vehicles based on it, including this little guy, which carries a 4.5 inch, I think, howitzer. It's a tiny vehicle. It's only slightly larger than an ELC. It's about as fast as an ELC. And in the game, about the only thing it has against it as far as mobility goes is it doesn't turn very well. So I set up, pre-aim this spot where I know they're going to come through, waiting for spots. Now, you'll notice the FV304 has a very short range. In fact, it can only fire about 350 meters. It can see almost as far as it can shoot. Speaking of shooting, I just hit somebody directly with that blind shot. Pays to watch the trees. And it wasn't this guy. Unfortunately, someone hits him and scares him away. I do take a shot, but he stops. It was this guy I hit, and it looks like I full-penned him for a really high roll of damage. Which is nice, because I'm not a very experienced Arty player, and so full pens are like a magical thing for me. And yet there goes another one, and a high roll. So, because I have these guys positioned on the edge of my shot range, the arc is at its maximum. That's the trick to the FV304. If you're going to shoot at somebody and they're behind Arty cover, put them right on the edge of your shot range. And this happens. The shells arc in straight down on their engine decks. You can see it fires a shot about every 10 seconds. It's extremely accurate to the point where you can pick out specifically which part of a tank you want to hit. The biggest challenge in hitting targets with the 304 is actually because it has such a high arc, its time of flight is very long. So if somebody moves at all while you fire, you've got a pretty good chance of missing them altogether. In fact, virtually all my misses in this thing either come from snapshots, which you can make because your rate of fire is so high, or from puppies driving out from under my shells. So you can see I typically just lob shells before I'm even aimed. By the time it takes me to reload the next shell I'm aimed in, that's how I roll with this little thing. See here, the hill's just not quite giving me the shots I need. It's just interfering with my arc. Here I was thinking about bombing down through the center to get better shots on that guy, but then I kind of get to the rock and reconsider. I realized that they still had control of the TD ridge, which would have ended very poorly for me if I'd gone down there, because in fact, look, I just got spotted on that spot. So I take a shot at him. Narrowly miss. Of course he's backing away since he's being focused down by my team. Because the FV304 carries so much ammo, 64 rounds, and because it fires so fast and it's so accurate, you can happily take blind shots all day with this thing and not run out of ammo. And so it's quite good at fishing for other Arty. If you don't have targets lit, you can try and find Arty or TDs. So here we go, full pen on that IS-3, because he's right at the edge of my range circle. The black ring on the map is actually my spotting distance in this thing, I think, which is it's like 310 meters or something, and my shot range is only just past it. So here I don't make the most clumsy descent, or sorry, don't make the most graceful descent down the hill. It certainly was the most clumsy. But I get down there, which is what I need to do, and shift my gun about. Those guys are starting to get out of my range, which is obviously not a thing I want, so I moved a little bit closer to get some shots over the hill. You can see this guy, because he's moving erratically backwards and forwards, it's very hard for me to get a shot on him. Better arty players can do it, they can predict where somebody's going to be, but with this amount of time between when I fire the shot and when it actually lands, I'm not so good at it. So quite often I'll get very frustrated with my targets moving like this guy. But my patience pays off. And he's finished, much like his team at this point. So even in a tier 8 game, the FV304 can be a serious threat. If it's being played by somebody who knows how to actually utilise it, knows how to abuse the gun's range and its arc, you can really mess with people. In particular, if they're behind low arty cover, say single-story buildings or rocks or whatever, you can shoot straight over the top of it, and a lot of people don't realise it. It's definitely one of the more stress-relieving things to play in the game.